Hello, my name is Darren Thomas and I'm the Director of Educational Research Techniques. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at geometric sequences and how to find a term within a geometric sequence. So let's get started. Now, when you're dealing with a geometric sequence, you have a pattern of numbers, and you find that pattern between the numbers not based on subtraction or addition as what we find with arithmetic sequences, but rather with multiplication or division, but normally multiplication, because even when you're doing division, a lot of times they'll give you a fraction where you have to multiply across. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So what we're trying to do here is that we are trying to find, for example, like the first three terms of a sequence when we know the initial term. So A1 in this example is going to be 5. And we're going to know that our ratio, which is represented as R when you're talking about sequences, R is going to equal -2 in our first example here. So let's go ahead and see if we can figure this out in a very simple way. So this is what we need to do. We know that A sub 1 equals 5. So if I want to find A sub 2, let me make that bigger. If I want to find A sub 2, what I have to do is this. I know my ratio is -2, so I'm just going to put -2 here, and I'm going to multiply by the first term, A sub 1. And so if I take -2 and I multiply by 5, I'm going to get -10. I think that's clear for all of us. And so now I have two terms already. Let me do one more. So A sub 3, I'm going to do -2 here, but this time I'm not going to take the first term, I'm going to take the second term. And so I'm going to put A sub 2 right here. And so what I'm going to have is I'm going to have -2 times -10, which is going to give me +20. So you can see this is not that difficult. We did this with arithmetic sequences, and the only difference is that instead of adding or subtracting, we're just multiplying. That's the only difference. But we're just going to try to be thorough here. So if I had to make my set for the first three numbers, it would be 5, -10, and then 20, like so. And so it's going positive, negative, because our ratio has that negative number there. That's what's happening. Let's go ahead and move on, shall we? Let's do one more. So again, we want to find the first three terms. And what we want to do is we're going to find out for a geometric sequence, of course, and our initial term is going to be 18, so A sub 1, and our ratio this time is going to be 1/3. Now again, instead of saying 1/3, we could say, divided by 3. But again, we're doing multiplication because that's kind of how geometric sequences are set up. So if I wanted to find the first three terms, I just go through the process here. So I got my A1, we'll change the color. Should have did this last time, it's okay. A1 is going to be 18, we already know that. So if I want to find A2, we're going to take A1 multiplied by 1/3. And I think we know what that is. It's going to be 6. We don't have to show every step here. And then if I want to find A3, this time I take A2 multiplied by 1/3, and that's going to give me 2. So if I wanted to indicate what the first three terms are, it would be 18, then 6, then 2. And you can clearly see that each time we're multiplying by 1/3, or if you like to think about it differently, we're dividing by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6, 6 divided by 3 is 2, 18 times 1/3 is 6, 6 times 1/3 is 2, and that's how it works out. So there's not a whole lot to review here, but just to wrap up this video, what we did here is we learned how to find the terms inside a geometric sequence. And so it's not that deep. You essentially just look at your initial term or whatever term they gave you, and you look at your ratio, and you can use that information to find the other terms. That's all there is to it. There's not a whole lot more to say. So I hope that this video was useful for you and you were able to understand what we talked about. My name is Darren Thomas. I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. Take care.